So, good evening everyone. We are the group 1 and we will tackle about the chapter 4, psychological theory.
Psychological theories. So, why do individual commit crimes? So, nakakuha na ka crimes kay tungod na ni kuan greedy, angry, kuan revenge o pride. So, but at the same time, why is crime present in our society? So, some people decide to commit crime and carefully plan everything in advance to increase gain and decrease risk. So the criminal justice system is very concerned with this question, and criminologists are attempting to answer them. In actuality, the question of why crime is committed is very difficult to answer. However, for centuries, people have been searching to answer. Jacob 2004, it is a very important to recognize that there are many different explanations as to why individuals commit crime. So, Colin 2007, one of the main explanations is based on the psychological theories, which focus on the association among intelligence, personality, learning, and criminal behavior. So, those in any discussion concerning crime, caution, one must complete psychology theories. Psychodynamic, which is the center on the nation that an individual's early childhood experience influence life or her likelihood for committing future crimes. So, upon learning psychodynamic the psychology of mental and emotional forces or process developing, especially in early childhood, under effects on behavior and mental states. So, behavioral, having expanded the work of Google trade through behavior modeling to the society learning. So, behavioral means relating to the behavior of a person or animal, or to study of their behavioral, emotional, and behavioral problems. So, number 3, cognitive, the major premise of which suggests that an individual perception and how it is manifested affects his or her potential to commit crime. So, example cognition, including paying attention to something in the environment, learning something new, making discussion, processing language, sensing and revising environmental stimuli, or solving problem and using memory. Observing psychological theories are personality and intelligence combined. These 5 theories are characteristics. So, muna sila upon psychodynamic, cognitive, behavioral, and personality and intelligence. Psychodynamic theories. So, psychodynamic theories, journalist is defined in a dynamic process representing an emotional system of attachment and communication between separate individuals who jointly approach each other at their joint virtual space. It is also represented as a mother of the infant, so psychotherapist and patient. So, ang jointness daw, nag-represent sa duha o gamo na tao o kanang dili sila maging communication ba, pero na sila yung similarities, pero na sila yung connection sa usap-usap, pero iba sila o kanang appearance ba o kanang attachment communication about sila duha. So, psychotherapy is the use of psychological methods, particularly when based on regular personal interaction, to help a person change and overcome problems in desired ways. It aims to improve an individual's
will be in a mental health. So ang psychological therapy is a method sa mga na maagi sa regular interaction sa like pag-interact sa katao ba pero dili sa kanang sa imong pamaagi murag silbi pamaagi ka na kanang murag iya ganahan ba murag ka comfortable para sa iya dili kay kanang imong batasan imong ihatag sa iya inana. Behavioral theory. Behavioral theory. The second major psychological theory is behaviorism. This theory maintains that human behavior is developed through learning experience. So, psychological theory is behavior na kuno sa katao. So, psychological theory nag-define kuno sa behavior sa katao ba? Right? Ang human behavior kanang binuhatan sa katao muna ang i-develop o ma-learn o experience niya sa psychological behavior, psychological theory. And in Bill's equation, behavior is supported by rewards by extinguished by negative reaction or punishment. So, ang kanang behavior, ang behaviorism nimo, na dyan ay negative reaction sa katao ba, nag-interact ka ba, react sa jointness. Sa jointness, kay dili magka, barkada mo ba, siyempre, duwang mo katao ang i-represent pero, magkabarkada mo, pero lahi-lahi dyan mo ka ng pamaagi sa unyang gusto rin ka na buhatol ka ng pamaagi na batasan, na. So, ang nagkuhan sa behavior theory is Albert Bandura. The most prominent social learning theories. So, si Albert Bandura daw kuno ang kanang most prominent social learning theories daw kuno. So, Bandura maintains the individual are not born with innate ability to act violently. So, si Bandura kuno nag-maintains kuno sa usa ka individual na kuno nagdili kuno mo. Buhat tayo kuno kanang buak kuno ba? Kanang na siya abilidad na parang buhat ko kanang ina na violent na pagka sa katao pero katong sa jointness parang conscious ba na kapag sa psychotherapist therapist. He suggests that the contrast violence and aggression are learned through the process of behavior modeling. Ang behavior theory is aggressive as a model. So, naay tulo ka model ang behavior theory. So, number one is family interaction. So, kay bawal mga anak family interaction, mag-interact ka sa imong pamilya. Kung unsay mo mga pag-individual ba, unsay way kanang pamaagi mo batasan kanimo para magkahalibulok ka sa imong pamilya. So, ikaduha, environmental experience. So, suggest that individuals who resides in the areas are prone to crime or display aggressive behavior those who reside in low crime areas. Kasilding 2006. So, ang environment experience so suggest na sa individual ako na mubuhat ko na siya ako ng crimes like prone ko naman ng like display behavior ba. Kaya na ako na siya mga kanang like kanang sa mga nakay kanang lamig kayo na murag buhat ko na mawawag, napakahilagtan na ba. Pero nasa sa panangkuhan, pang-environmental good siya kanang naarag sa kanang dili bilang tao ba. Pero gamay ra kayo ang posibilidad na mag-commit siya crime. So ang last sa behavioral theory is the mass media. It's difficult to discern the ultimate role of media as regard to crime. Scholars have suggested that films, video games, and television shows that reflect violence are harmful to children. So mass media daw is the ultimate role ng media ko no, parang like mga online games, binukatan sa bata ba, like na yung mga ma-adapt ko no ba, like naibalala ng naman ibalik sa una like nagduwa ng bata ba sa nato yung giduwa ng or ko siya Call of Duty, parang na-adapt sa bata ba ang binuhatan sa iya karakter mo kung isundot po niya sa iya magpakataw naman.
Cognitive theory. In recent years, significant gains have been made in explaining criminal behavior within the cognitive theory framework. Her psychologists focus on the mental process of individuals. More important, cognitive theories attempt to understand how criminal offenders perceive and mentally represent the world around the NIPER 2001. Their main cognitive theory is how individuals solve problems. Two pioneering 19th century psychologists are Bscrim and William James. The two subject discipline of the cognitive theory are worthy of discussion.
So, ganito yung cognitive theory din kay, kung yan yung pasabutan niya kay, nag-focus niya sa kanang mental processes ba sa individual. More importantly, diri sa cognitive theory, kay ang mga psychologists nag-focus sila sa kanang mental processes sa kanang mga criminal offenders ba kung sila pangunahuna, kung sa sila pambuhaton ba, para example, silang behavior niya. Dili po sa kanang cognitive theory kay naidwa ka kanang pioneering psychologist nga si William Wundt o si William James nga naghimo to sa discipline sa cognitive theory. So, ang first sa discipline kay Juan.
Number 1. The moral development branch, the focus of which is understanding how people morally represent and reason the world. Number 2. The information processing. Research focus on the way people acquire, retain, and retrieve information.
So, kaya din, the moral development branch kay nag-focus sa kanang understanding sa kataba kung sa iyang pamatasan. For example, siya ba kay buutan, masaligan, purchase, or kanang saan niya pag-socialize ka sa ibang tao. Yung kanang the information processing na ginagawa ang researcher kaya nag-focus sa kung saan sa kanang mga tao ba pag-attain or retrieve sa information. Personality and crime.
Defined as something that make us what we are and also which make us different from others. Ideally, personality is stable over time. One of the most well-known theories of personality used to examine this relationship is the Big Five model. Personality, this model provides a vigorous structure into which must personality characteristic can be categorized.
So, kaya din personality and crime din model siya ka ng nag-differentiate sa ato ba sa uban nga tao. So, ang kaning personality kay mao niya ang atong panapamatasan or kanang unsay naa nato ba awa sa uban. Yang kanang isa ka theory na kanang most well known about sa personality kay ang gitawag nga Big Five model personality. So, diri sa Big Five model personality kay nadiri ka na makategorize ang different characteristics sa personality. Ang first kay
Number 1. Neuroticism, involved emotional stability. Number 2. Extraversion, characterized by sociability, excitement, and stimulation. Number 3. Openness, individuals who have active imagination, find pleasure, beauty, art, attentive, and intellectual focus. Number 4. Agreeableness is related to interpersonal tendencies. Number 5. Conscientiousness focuses on a person's ability to control impulse and exercise self-control.
So, kaya din, neuroticism kay nag-involve siya sa individual state ba or kanang iyang emotional state sa katao. Ang extraversion ay gaduha kay diri na characterize ang kung saan pag-socialize sa katao ba kung sa iyang buhaton or iyang behavior para makipag-socialize. So, ikatulo kaya openness. Kada ba ang mga tao na kuhan kay panlantaw ba kung nasa ka ng different na kanang murag nakapokus sila sa kanang more sa kanang imagination ba. Kamo sila mo imagine mga utang niya agreeableness kay kanang so agreeableness kay makuan ka makamayo siya mo field choice for example kanang sa classification kay mo agree ba siya o dili ang kaning conscientiousness kay kanang dili ay makita personality nga kanang sa kanya pag nasa self control ba kung sa kanya das ay magalingon.
Psychopathic personality. Antisocial personality, psychopathic or psychopath in terms of
Pre kanang tutok ba kay
psychopathic personality, antisocial personality, psychopathic or psychopath is term used interchangeably. Sociopaths are often a product of a destructive home environment.
so kanang psychopathic personality din ay wala siya kanang antisocial siya tagad sa uban ng tao.
Psychopaths are a product of a defect or aberration within themselves.
So kaning psychopath dahil kay ang himutan na kay ato yung magalingon ba kita rin paghimo sa kaulingon na may for example kanang mga tao na may stress kay kanabi tendency na mahin sa psychopath kay di naman siya ganahan nakipag-socialize sa mga ilang peers na ilang kanila.
The antisocial personality is characterized by low level of guilt, superficial charm, above average intelligence, persistence, violation of the right of others, incapacity to form enduring relationship, impulsive, risk-taking, egocentricity, manipulativeness, forcefulness, and cold-heartedness.
So kaning sila yung anti-social personality kay ang mga individual na for example kanang psychopaths kay kanang mura na sila kanang wala sila pakisa kanang uban ng tao ba kay sila gusto na sila makikinusahan niya mas importante ang mga psychopath kay kung sila kanang cold-hearted ba di kayo sila kanang makuan sa uban ba kaluwa yan.
Other dynamics that may contribute to psychopathic personality is pairing with pathologic tendencies, childhood, traumatic events, or inconsistent discipline.
So ang other dynamics sila contribute sa katao nga magkaroon sila o psychopathic personality kaya ang kanang pinakaw na kay parent with pathologic tendencies ka na ba mga parents nga hindi na ginatuduhan ng anak o mga yung mga pamatasan for example nga nagkadua kay childhood traumatic events o kanang mga pakikabukuan na kanang pagkabata nila kay nakuha sila ka na trauma ganit anak niya kung sila pagka-trauma na yung sila psychopath sunod kay inconsistent discipline ka na wala sila ginatuduhan o pamakayo nga parang disiplina ba.
It is important to note that many chronic offenders are sociopaths. Those with personality traits can predict crime and violence. Then one could assume that the root cause of crime is found in the force that influence human development at an early stage of life.
So di ba, katong chronic offenders kaya ito na-discuss atong first year ta so ang iyan ay kung ano yung mga nagiyuntan kaya kanadeng pagiging psychopath o sociopaths nga kanang dili makik-socialize. So kung nga natin ayaw mo kung ano ba kay nag-focus na sa pagaling niya sa kung saan yung mga na makabuhat tayo di maayo na pan ko na dili sa kanang pagkasupat kasi so ang akaling ko kung pagiging sociopath kay kuhan dali na mapitik ang kanang crime kay ay sa mga
Intelligence and crime. Criminologists have suggested for centuries that there's an exists link between intelligence and crime. Some common beliefs are that criminals and delinquents possess low intelligence and that this low intelligence causes criminality. Scholars have suggested that the Holy Grail is casually the nature versus nature debate is a psychological agreement that is related to whether that environment or hereditary fact, the psychological development of individuals, the second nature versus nature studies that warrant attention has conducted by Richard Bernstein and Charles Murray. This suggests that individuals with low IQ are more likely to commit crimes and caught by sin to prison. So sa ana si Richard Bernstein o si Charles Murray ang mga low IQ naman sa mga nakaway ng eskwelahan and ang low knowledge is most likely sila na makikipag-crime kaya kanakaning tungkol sila pag kanang wa sa IQ ba kayo? Di ba? Mapingala sila unsa dahil siya kanang ignorante sila ba? Ignorance anak kay na makakumas kag crime kay na may gitawag na ignorance of the law excuse with no one's. So manang buwas sa crime kay ignorante lang kay sila sa mga taga-bukid ng kanana. Most likely sa mga taga-bukid is kanang mga low IQ, way studian kay tungod sa pagka pobre nila. So next
Freudian psychology analytic theory. Sigmund Freud, May 6, 1856, September 23, 1939, is considered to be the founder of the psychodynamic approach to psychology, which looks closely at the conclusions drive that motivate people to act certain way. The role of the mind is something that Freud repeatedly talked about because he believed that the mind is responsible for both conscious and unconscious decisions based on drive and force. Freud believed people are simply actors in the drama of their own minds, pushed by desire, pulse of by coincidence underneath the surface of personalities represent the power struggle going on deep with us.
Based on my research, the impact on the field of psychology, he introduced the idea that the unconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping human behavior and that conflicts that undesired beneath the surface can influence our actions. The concept of the ego and superego, which represent different aspects of the mind, is a fundamental part of Freud's theory, and he proposed that they interact to shape an individual's personality and decision making. While Freud's ideas have been debated and evolved over time, his work remaining influential in understanding the complexities of human psychology.
Psychoanalytic theory suggests that individual's personality is controlled by unconscious mental processes that are grounded in early childhood. The founders of psychology, Sigmund Freud, has originated the theory. This theory are three elements or structure that make up the human personality. Number one, the ego. The ego is according to Freud the part of the unconscious that seek pleasure. Number two, the ego. The idea. The idea according to Freud is the part of the unconscious that seek pleasure. Number two, the ego is the first and foremost bodily ego. It is the most really or surface entity, but it's itself the projection of a surface. Number three, superego, which develop around age 4 to 5 and incorporates moral society. The main of psychosis is to repress emotions and expressions and make it unconscious.
The ideas described by Sigmund Freud is really the primitive and spiritual part of a personality that is present at birth. It operates on the pleasure principle, seeking immediate gratification of basic needs and desires, such as hunger, thirst, and sexual urge. It doesn't consider the consequences or social norms, often leading to impulsive and irrational behavior. The idea can clash with the ego, the conscious rational part of the mind, and the superego, the moral and societal science, which can result in inner conflicts and affects one's behavior and decision making.
So, anxiety and defense mechanism. Sigmund Freud proposed a set of defense mechanisms in one body. For example, in a particular situation, when an event occurs that violates one's preferred view of themselves, Freud stated that it is necessary for the soul to have some mechanism to defend itself against it and unfavorable
Freud and the daughters of Sigmund Freud developed and elaborate on the defense mechanism of values. Daniel, number one, Daniel believed that what is true actually false. Number two, space me. Anna Freud, the daughter of Sigmund Freud, developed and elaborated on them. The defense mechanism are follows. Denial, believe that what is true actually false. Displacement, taking out impulses on less pretty target. Intellectualization, and avoiding acceptable emotion by focusing on the intellectual aspects. Projection, attributing uncomfortable feelings that others. Rational non-decision. Create false but believable justification. Reaction formation. Taking the opposite belief because the true belief causes anxiety. Regression, going back to a previous stage of development. Repression, causing uncomfortable thoughts out of confused awareness. Suppression, confusing forcing unwanted thoughts out of awareness. Sublation, redirecting wrong parts into usually acceptable actions. Low IQ theory. Once IQ prime correlation in nature, the next step is to explain it. Why IQ and prime are negatively correlated. Explanations of IQ prime correlation typically take one of three approach. First, IQ and prime are seriously not causally correlated. Number two, low IQ increases criminal behavior. Three, criminal behavior decreases IQ. Arguments of low IQ theory. A popular arguments against IQ as a cause of crime criticize IQ tests as only measuring individual knowledge and values rather than innate intelligence. Other arguments against IQ as cause of crime holds that school teachers and administrators treat students differently. Perceptions of the students' intelligence giving negative levels and fewer additional opportunities to raise intelligence students. Final arguments against IQ holds that even if all people commit crime with equal frequency, less intelligent people would be less able to evade detection and would be arrested more often. In contrast to the above arguments, some explanations emphasize IQ and cause of crime. The earliest usual explanation, popular during 1990s, portrayed criminal as so feeble-minded and mentally differentiated.
Attention deficit hyperactivity theory, ADHD, is a mental disorder of the neurodevelopment type. It is characterized by problems paying attention, excessive activity, or difficulty controlling behavior, which is not age. It appears before a person is 12 years old and present for more than 6 months. Children with problems paying attention may result in poor school 95% of adults have depression. ADHD management recommendations vary by country and usually involve some combination of counseling, lifestyle changes, and medications. Frustration, aggression theory. Frustration aggression hypothesis, otherwise known as the frustration aggression displacement theory, is a theory of aggression proposed by John Bullard, Miller, further developed by Miller at 1941 and Leonard Berkowitz in 1969. The theory says that aggression is the result of blocking or frustrating a person's efforts to attain good. In experimentation, the frustration aggression theory has been studied since 1959, and there have been modifications. Gill and Anderson present a study that questions further.
Experimentation, a portrait aggression theory has been studied since 1939, and there have been modifications. There and Anderson presented a study that questioned whether restraint that is justified or not plays a role in future aggression. The experimentation consisted of three groups of subjects performing under curriculum tasks that was tied. The participants were explained to the control justified frustration and unjustified frustration. Experimentation. There are Anderson found the participants in the unjustified frustration group great and research staff to have least ability to like knowing that this will affect their financial situation as graduate student. The justified frustrate group make the staff as least like able and have having less ability than the control group, but more than that of the justified frustration group. This results support the hypothesis that decision